Brad.
We're back for our Coffee with the Coaches series. This is Coach Brad Dunn.
Coach John Duncan.
Back, guys, keeping our series going here for some afternoon coffee. I've got my Joe Beans coffee, a Lynchburg favorite, a grab and go, always a carry out coffee place. So a nice place we can drive up to. No interaction, grab a coffee, and did so when I was coming back from work today. John, what you drinking over there?
Hi, Brad. This is the same usual HEB pecan coffee.
I miss that stuff from being out there. You got to send me some. So first session, what we did was we talked about some of the things we're doing right now during the COVID-19 pandemic and keeping our teams together, and introduced ourselves a little bit. Today, we're going to go into more of the format that we're going to have when we interview other coaches. So we're going to kind of bounce some questions off of each other real quick, give about a minute max to answer, and take this as a chance to interview each other, and then start welcoming in some guests next week. So, John, you got a question for me? I'll let you go first.
Thanks, Brad. And hopefully you're doing well too. In the past couple of days since we spoke, let's see. Yesterday in Georgetown, Texas, the weather was nice, so the family got to get out and ride some bikes, and it's definitely there's a sense of connection where we can't connect, right? But I see a lot of people out on the front porch, and it's amazing where everyone's being super friendly. There's so many waves. There's so many just people want to interact, and thank goodness for Zoom, social media. I guess, my first question I have for you is, how has social media helped bring your team together?
Oh, man, that's a great question. Well, with coaching and our normal format, we use it as a chance to, we're together as a team, but it's a chance to kind of showcase ourselves to our families and people that aren't necessarily here in Lynchburg. And that's what we're doing now. Every day we featured somebody on there while we've been kind of separated during the pandemic that talks about the way that they're growing. And it's a good chance to remind each other of their caring teammates and kind of motivate and inspire each other as well, whether they're working out, whether they're growing themselves through more reading or picking up a hobby or helping out around the house and spending family time. So it's good to showcase that stuff on social media.
It is. Exactly.
There you go. So then my first question to you, kind of bounce it back to you, is
go ahead, Brad. Go ahead.
Well, kind of going back, looking at you as a coach, when was it that you knew you wanted to be a college coach?
I guess towards the end of my senior year, and just kind of reflecting on, could I give swimming up, and it's been just a huge impact on my life. It just kept me structured through junior high, high school, and college, and just the friendships I made, just the overall experience. And I was fortunate enough to be on scholarship and had another semester to go. And so I started coaching high school and club, and just kind of seeing the joy that those kids, got out of just swimming and doing it for fun, and the impact that I made. And so I think that kind of knew there was a calling for me, was, that moment. And Brad, this is probably in 2002, the fall of 2002 was when I knew I wanted to be a swim coach. And it took me another 2 or 3 years to realize I wanted to be a college swim coach.
Awesome. All right. What's next on your question for me?
Okay. Let's see. We have, what would you like your team to be doing this time while they're in quarantine? They can't swim. So what are some things you have your team doing? And I guess, over these next couple of months, or hopefully not months, hopefully weeks, what would you like your team to be doing?
Yeah, well, I want them to stay, not necessarily just positive, but to stay strong, because you're going to have some ups and downs, especially if you're reading a lot of news, if you're going on to social media a little bit too much, you kind of get stuck in a rut. And so what I want them to do is really use this time to challenge themselves, create a daily routine, right? That's encompassing their online classes, it's encompassing working out, and it's also encompassing these things that are going to keep us in a positive mindset going forward. It's easy to slip up and to get real bummed out and to get to get ourselves in a negative space. And so what I want them to do is challenge them to grow as individuals and to grow together as a team, and then to grow their mental toughness as well, because I think that everybody's going to encounter different challenges during this time, and I want them to use their structure to overcome them. One of the cool things that our team has done is everybody's blocked out their days on a spreadsheet, hour by hour. What are they going to be working out? Are they going to have personal time? Are they going to have family time, classwork, homework, reading? Just think about it and block it out. And I think they've done a nice job of that. So, what about with you, Jon? You've got a very successful program out there, and both on your women's and men's sides. What are some things right now that you're having them do while they're at home, away from the pool, away from their traditional sources that they're working out with?
I think you said it. I mean, it's having that structure, having that routine is so important. I knew, for me, the first couple of days, it was just, I'm not a big sleep in guy, and I'm up, usually 5:45, 6:15, usually when my daughter gets up, and I have my coffee the first thing, make coffee, and we make breakfast. And then usually, when we're at school, I'm back in the office by 8:30, 9 o'clock. And that was the routine. And then, we had our, weekly meetings, email meetings, but it's so important to keep that personal routine going, keeping that even while you're home, keeping those set hours, and definitely, physical fitness. I think it's just, especially us as coaches, we need to be, working out and encourage our team to work out too. And how it's so important there. Just, I guess, for example, Brad, like yesterday, I went and ran 3 miles, and every 400 meters, I did 10 push-ups. I think we did that in,
Listen, it's supposed to be like a Q&A. This isn't supposed to be like a bragging time. You can do that in your own time, not during our show here. Come on.
It's something simple as just going out and running, doing 10 push-ups, doing 10, sit-ups, something like that. And that's, take 30, 35 minutes out of your day, and you're getting the cardio, you're getting some strength training in there. There's something as easy as that. And I think it's just kind of mixing up your workouts, your dry land routines. If we're fortunate enough, just as you are, Brad, we have a full-time strength coach, and I'm sure he or she is, written, a program for your team. And we're fortunate enough where we have a program that's, 30 to 40 minutes. That's 6 days a week. And so we sent that out 2 weeks ago, and a lot of feedback when I'm checking in with our student athletes. They're doing it. And I think right now we got to really think outside the box and do things that are safe, but fun and creative. And I think, that's what we need to do. And hopefully everybody's doing that.
Nice. What's next on your list of questions?
All right, here we go. Let's see. I guess, what have you been doing, Brad? Tell me about your physical routine. And you've been working out. You've been, what have you been doing to kind of kill the time?
Yeah. Well, I touched on this a little bit, but and it's part of actually a series that we did. I think I mentioned it, where we do our Lynchburg swimming pros, and I took the opportunity to go first. I much prefer showcasing my swimmers on social media, but on there I talked about some things, and the things I've really continued with. First of all, in my free time, my personal time, I'm trying to finally read the Lord of the Rings books. So boom, that's one thing that I'm getting through.
Peter Jackson, right?
What's that?
No, it's not J.R. Tolkien. It's not Peter. Peter Jackson was the director.
He did the movies.
He did the movie.
And
J.R. Tolkien, is that his name?
Yep. Yeah. There you go. Yeah,
there you go. See.
He's a pop culture guru too. Not only is he working out, now he knows everything about pop culture. But reading that, I've been cooking quite a bit. My girlfriend and I have been cooking up a lot of recipes that we've been meaning to try for a while, and a few of my family favorites. A bunch of recipes from a book my mom put together. I think I had one of those books close by. Yep. Right here, you got all the family recipes in here. So been going through all of that and kind of honing that craft a little bit. And then if it's not too blurry, I've got my bike trainer right here. So been on that,
Okay.
doing a little stationary bike work, kind of working through that as well. So a lot of things for my personal growth as well as my fitness level. So and getting out and running as well. So you're not the only one out there grinding away, John. I
Right.
promise you that. But kind of getting back to my next question to you, want to look, one of the things that you and I talked about doing a lot and really valued when we coach together is our team culture. So what to you think about like the team building activities and stuff? What was kind of the most fun team building or culture building activity that you can remember that you've done with one of your teams?
Ooh. Um, we did something the beginning of the year, and it was an idea that one of our teammates had, or it might have been Sarah James, my assistant, but it was just a game of everyone played it paired up, and it was rock, paper, scissors.
Mm-hmm.
And you paired up with a teammate, and whoever lost, then they would play the next person. Sorry, whoever would win would play the next person that won. And then finally, you would get from 50 down to 2 people. And if you lost, you were the cheerleader for the teammates. So you had, half 25 and 25, where the math is on that, cheering. And we did it on a recruiting weekend, and it was actually at our house. We did a team dinner, and it was just a huge, just positive excitement. And I had it in the backyard, and you have 50, college swimmers just yelling and cheering. My neighbors are, what's going on? But that was this kind of defining moment. And it was like, wow, if you guys can cheer like this at a home meet or a away meet or conference championship meet, I mean, this is, that's going to be exciting. And that's the energy that we need to bring. So I think it's just, going to having a energy, and you notice teams at meets or in practice, what team has that energy. You can try to help tell that if they have the energy, they have a good team culture in place. So big firm believer in energy and being positive. And I think, you're one of those guys, Brad, to come in 3 years ago to bring a positivity. And we've had success in the past, but it's just kind of really bringing some good ideas and, trying to find what's our best in the team, and how can we implement that in the pool and practices and meets. So
Good. Well, John, we're coming to the end of our time right now, so we're trying to keep all of these under 15 minutes. So this is where we get to introduce a question that we're going to ask every coach and every guest that we have on the show. That is your coach, Jon Duncan, you as a coach. What movie character best represents Coach Jon Duncan?
I guess we're going to have to go with Austin's own Matthew McConaughey. He seems like a pretty chill guy, and I kind of think I'm pretty laid back and low key. But I think the movie he did was it We Are Marshall?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the one that you saw him as a kind of bringing in the culture and reviving, a horrific moment in time in that program and what they went through, and then trying to recreate a program and create, bring together the community in the town. But he did an awesome job, and then hopefully that, inspire people like the way he did in that role. Brad, what character, what movie, I guess actor would resemble you in coaching?
Yeah, well, I think that I thought a lot about this as we got things rolling, and there's a lot, but I'm going to go ahead and state claim in the Han Solo character from Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, okay.
A lot of Harrison Ford characters, I like those a lot, and I'm going to get some grief from the swimmers for picking that one, but that's the one that I like.
Harrison Ford or the new character?
The Harrison Ford one, but
okay.
I think that kind of that suaveness, but also the outgoingness and the dynamic character that's Han Solo. I like that one. So that's the one that I'm going to go with, John. And we're at the end of our 15 minutes here, so we're going to call the time and look forward to having a special guest on next week. Appreciate everybody watching, and we'll see y'all later.
All right, guys, stay safe.